Which Senate seat do you think is the most likely to flip in 2024 and why? As is the case every election year, in 2024 there's a lot of Senate seats up for election, a lot of which look like they'll be quite competitive. The unusual thing about this cycle of Senate elections is that despite the existence of an incumbent Democrat president, the Senate looks heavily favored towards Republicans in 2024. 3 states, Montana, Ohio, and West Virginia, are all currently held by Democrats but recently have heavily favored Republicans. Additionally, there's many other competitive seats, all held by Democrats: Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Texas and Florida are the only states with Republican senators that haven't been considered unequivocally safe, but even these states are considered likely Republican. However, not all predictions come true, and 2022 proved that. A midterm cycle that also heavily favored Republicans resulted in the party attaining a razor-thin majority in the House and the Democrats keeping control of the Senate, so ultimately we really won't know until November 2024. Regardless of which party controls the Senate come 2025, there are a lot of competitive seats, so this begs the question of which is the most likely to flip. I suppose this is really up to interpretation, so which one do you all think is most likely to flip? It's easily West Virginia. It's like the second reddest state in the country, and Jim Justice more than likely will be the GOP nominee. In a presidential year, Manchin has like a 1 chance. After that? Montana or Ohio, but Tester and Brown are good incumbents and liked by their constituents, so they might be able to pull through. Gut feeling says one falls, one wins. Unless Jim Justice loses the GOP primary to Alex Mooney, WVA is definitely flipping. And even if it's Mooney versus Manchin, that race will take tons of Democratic money to be just barely winnable for Manchin. Red state Senate Democrats are an endangered species, so I'm going with Manchin, since he's in the reddest one of all. Ohio. It has trended very much like Florida, and looks to be increasingly a sure red state. Debbie Stabenow-in-me is retiring after this term, so that seat will be up for grabs. As of right now, the front-runner for the Dem nomination is Elisa Slotkin, no word yet on who the Republican nominee will be. Can we please get a decent Democrat in Florida to take on Rick Scott? Just his face alone is enough to scare off voters and small children. And then there's his record. I think West Virginia. It's become maybe the reddest state in America. I think I saw a poll with Manchin down 30. I think he is toast. I'm thinking it's either West Virginia or Ohio. If Manchin decides to run for president via no labels instead of running for Senate re-election, then West Virginia pretty much automatically becomes safe Republican. However, if Manchin decides to run for Senate again, then I still think Ohio flips. Unlike Manchin, Sherrod Brown is not a moderate. He's popular in the state, but not a moderate by any means. Given how much Ohio has shifted towards Republicans since 2018, I just don't see a path to re-election for Brown. West Virginia flipping red and Machine losing his seat. Next up would be Brown losing Ohio to GOP. The third most likely flip is Montana with Tester losing his seat to GOP. So it's very likely Dems lose all 3 and go from 51,49 in their favor to 48,52 in GOP favor. I do have a feeling Tester might be able to keep his seat, but I don't have much faith in Brown, and I'd almost bet money Manchin loses by 5 points. If I were to get, I would guess it's going to be 49-51 favoring GOP. Slightly off topic, I do think Dems will flip 10 to 15 seats and retake the House in 24. I've sent $250 to Lucas Kuntz hoping he flips Josh Hawley's seat. I also sent $250 to Colin Allred hoping he flips Ted Cruz's seat. Yeah, I know, long odds on both, but if enough of us believe, then these candidates have a fighting chance. Manchin. He is a dino. F him. But pretty much any MAGA with a moderate opponent will flip. Brown's fate depends upon momentum from Ohio SU won this August, and then the energy around the reproductive rights amendment expected to be on the ballot with him in 2024. You used begs the question in your last paragraph, but the way that you used it is not what the phrase means. To beg the question is a logical fallacy in debate, where a competitor employs circular reasoning. For example, my mother is the best mother in the whole world, because she's really good. What's really good about her? The fact that she's the best. What you're looking for would be a phrase like which brings up the question or that raises the question. Arizona, plain and simple for a reason. Sinema is an independent, and there of course would be a Democrat running. Thus there is a high chance Sinema is going to filter away some votes from the Democrat candidate. Considering how close recent elections in Arizona are, this is fair sign to say that a Republican is going to win Arizona.